Welcome to the future. Welcome to Bitcoin Bitumeros. Good afternoon on this November 26th, 2024. Wow, look at what we have left. Well, just recently we gathered for the celebration of the BM program, and today we return to do the monthly review with all the news from BME, which is what we have been doing this month. And for that, as always, we are joined by Giovanny Montalegre. How are you, Giovanny?
How are you, Javi? The truth is I'm doing great. Here, delighted to be once again with the community, and I want to thank everyone in the group for joining us live, including people from Argentina, for example, Christian Elvi, Richard, Luis, Paulette, Javier Cuervas. I really want to thank everyone for being here, and we have very interesting things. Also, stay until the end because we are going to discuss something that we will revisit. All right, great.
Well, I want to greet, as Giovanny mentioned, everyone who is live, Christian, Edu, Gonzalo, Miguel, Jose Luis. Please let us know where you are watching us from, as we are very interested to know. And we are going to start, if you agree, with a review of everything that is happening these days. We have been discussing in Bit2Me whether to do a special program if Bitcoin reaches $100,000, which is a historic milestone that we are all waiting for and are very eager for it to reach. This reminds me a bit of when Bitcoin reached $10,000 in 2017, when it crossed that line in the bull market of that cycle. And now we see it as $100,000. I have similar feelings to what I see in the market. In the end, Bitcoin hasn't reached that figure. It got to $99,670. And as you know, since the weekend, it has started a drop, a correction, that has taken us down to around $91,800. It's a drop of about 7 to 8%, considering that we have had a rise of more than 150% over the year. Of course, I find it very amusing when the economists of the moment, the experts, say that the Bitcoin bubble has burst, that all of this is over, but nothing could be further from the truth. I do believe that there have been factors that have pressured the price of Bitcoin downward this year that you all know, such as the sale of the Grayscale Fund, which had already accumulated more than 600,000 Bitcoin before the ETFs were approved in January. And of course, that selling pressure that has sold about 400,000 of those 600,000, well, the price has been somewhat maintained with a cap as if they were trying to push it down and not let Bitcoin take off, although I believe it is not doing badly at all. On the other hand, we had the sales from Germany of those 50,000 Bitcoins that were ramped up, and that brought the price at a certain moment, if you remember, to $49,000 from $73,000. And now, since Trump won, there is a tremendous euphoria. Well, because there is a series of candidates, there are a series of people being selected, such as Treasury Secretary in the US, 1,000, to lead all the favorable policies around Bitcoin in this very important country. Not only that, but also to the director of the SEC, which would be like the supervisory body to ensure everything works well from a financial standpoint in the US. You all know who Gary Gensler is, who has been so opposed to Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies functioning well there. Well, this man has already said that in January he is leaving and they will replace him with a woman who is very aligned and has said phrases like, "Make crypto great again," which is the phrase Trump used with "Make America great again." But with this lady, no. So he is even creating a cabinet specifically for the US to become the world capital of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies in terms of adoption. And of course, we are talking not only about ETFs, which seems outrageous to me. If you want, Jose, we can put up that graph I sent you about ETFs to see a bit in numbers. It's the last one I sent you, the one with the yellow columns and the white line. And here, what you can basically see on the left side is the daily inflow. The daily inflow since January 10th of the net purchases made by BlackRock, Fidelity, and all these people. Up to date. And what you can see is a clear trend of a massive accumulation. The figures marked with the yellow columns above zero are slightly net inflows. At the beginning, you see there the 13,600, more recently that 12,600. These are daily purchase entries that these funds include as portfolios for their using clients. So what are we seeing? A trend that is clearly on the rise, and I believe this has just begun. We are talking about this being the first year that we are coming out of a government that was very opposed to Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, which has changed 180 degrees. And not only these funds, but also the rest of the banks in the US. They are saying that they are going to pave the way for the purchase of Bitcoin, not for their clients. Then we have the proposal that Cynthia Loomis is going to take to Congress, which is already drafted, which is that link I sent you, Jose, of the Bitcoin Act of 2024. On Twitter, which is a blue chart, well, there you see a bit of the faces. I don't know if we have it online. There we have it. Yes. Well, you see that from the one, it would be to establish Bitcoin as a strategic reserve for the US. This is crazy. I mean, it seems like we are talking about Bitcoin as a strategic reserve here. 3 or 4 years ago, we were 4 crazy people talking about Bitcoin as if it were a wonder, which it is. And now we are at this point, create a program to buy 200,000 Bitcoin over the next 5 years to accumulate a total of 1 million units to hold, to keep them for at least 20 years. There should be a proof of reserve system, meaning it should be auditable and show the address where those Bitcoins are located constantly, that the current holdings are consolidated and that other US government agencies can transfer it to the country's strategic reserve. It should be a voluntary participation by the states, not just as a country, but by the states of the US. They can have their own reserve so that the holding of Bitcoin is also decentralized, that the first $6 billion in profit that the Federal Reserve has each year is entirely dedicated to buying Bitcoin as a strategic reserve, and that property rights are then protected. This means that users have the possibility to custody their own Bitcoin. Of course, we are talking about a systemic change, a brutal change in what this entails. The US government will enter in about 80 days. This is a bill, a proposal that is already being taken to Congress for a vote. And this woman, Cynthia Loomis, is from the Republican Party. What does that mean? Well, if the Republican Party wins the elections and they have the Treasury Secretary, the SEC Director, Trump, the Vice President, and a lot of advisors who are aligned with the idea of Bitcoin, then it is most likely that this will move forward. If that happens, I say that there are many people, this must be said, who are selling these days, this last month. To give you an idea, old wallets that hadn't moved in a long time, are selling Bitcoin, and more than 600,000 Bitcoin have been sold by people who have been accumulating for a while. So that has also put downward pressure, despite the fact that we have seen the price exploding and being close to 100,000. So at the same time, how is it being compensated? On one hand, as we saw with the ETFs, on the other hand, with companies that are starting to integrate Bitcoin as a reserve, as treasury in their accounting, in their company. Well, MicroStrategy is the clearest case with Michael Saylor. What is Michael Saylor doing? What he is doing is accumulating. Well, he has bought 385,000 Bitcoins. Just yesterday, he bought 55,000 Bitcoins, and he doesn't stop. He hasn't created a strategy. He has found a kind of bug, a flaw in the fiat system through which he can borrow at 0 interest and buy a lot of Bitcoin, thus making the value of his shares attractive, which have not stopped rising, and selling shares to buy more Bitcoin, borrowing, and it's a vicious cycle. So this man, well, aims to hold a lot, but not only that, there are also very important companies that are accumulating. And here for your reference, the graphs I sent you, Jose, of the previous cycles. The first one would be the bullish channel, which I believe you have it on screen. Well, this bullish channel is a channel that has been around since 2018 with highs and lows. If you notice from 20,000 to 68,000, what it is projecting for the next 12 months, if it somewhat repeats the 1,000, let's say the path taken in previous cycles, as you can see on the top right, is that it could be in a range or gap between $260,000 and $300,000. The potential, if this bullish channel is fulfilled, which has been around for many years, since 2018, you see that the lows are also touched. And in the other graph, what we can see is that in all the bull markets, since 2017, 2021, and in this one we are starting, we have had significant correction processes in each bull market. What do I mean by this? There are many people who, now that Bitcoin has fallen from 100,000 to 90,000, let's say that's a 10%, and they are already super scared. This is normal within bull markets. There are a lot of people who leverage themselves. What does that mean? that they use the Bitcoin they already have as collateral to get more money, and with that money, they buy more Bitcoin. So we have to be careful, because when we enter a phase of euphoria, what people do is get into debt. They also get into debt using Bitcoin as collateral, the same asset they are buying. So if there is a drop, the liquidations or price drop can be very sharp. So we can see strong corrections at a given moment, but the trend and the macro environment we have discussed are very favorable. So, well, I don't know what you all think. We have put a survey that Giovanny posted here asking how you think Bitcoin will end in November. There are 5 days left. I mean, it's the 26th, 27th, 28th. This month has 30 days. So by the end of this week, where do you think it will be? Above 100. Between 95 and 100, 90 and 95, or below 90? Come on. I'm going to take a stand. I'm going to say above 100.
This is not advice. I knew you were going there. In fact, the majority, 50%, say between 95 and 100. So the truth is that I am also going to go for the upper side this time. You know what Jose Luis Pascual says? Javi says, in the end, I might have to give you the reason. So I don't know.
We can be wrong. Look, what I also tell you is that we are in a very complicated geopolitical historical moment. Well, we see tensions with what is happening in Ukraine, a bit with the Biden administration, which is allowing the use of missiles to attack Russian soil, or NATO, which said today that it is considering creating or preemptively attacking Russian territory. We also see it in Taiwan with those movements of ships and planes that are happening. So any geopolitical event on this issue could create an unexpected movement in the market. So be careful with expectations. I think we need to keep a cool head, know what Bitcoin is, and what its value proposition is. Do we all understand that it is a strategic store of value? I will also talk a little bit, because you always ask us what is happening with altcoins, because there are altcoins that are taking off. In any case, despite the fact that there are altcoins that are rising significantly these days, both meme coins. And what we are seeing with Cardano, where the founder Charles Hoskinson seems to be becoming an advisor to the president of the US, that you always compare it with Bitcoin, and that in the long term, you see that these altcoins, which can be technological projects that we always mention, may have potential, are being compared against something that could be the strategic reserve of the world in the next 100 or 1,000 years. So be careful where you decide to take risks. And what do I mean by this? The management of the USAN portfolio is very personal. I do not give investment advice, but if you decide to enter this market and have exposure, I would say that at a minimum, from my point of view, at least 70% should be Bitcoin, and the rest you should be very careful with, and be aware that upward volatility can experience downward drops just as fast or even faster. So it is true that there are many percentages that we see now and catch our attention. 2009, we see it with Polkadot, we see it with Chainlink, we see it with Cardano. We also saw it a few weeks ago with BM, which has now corrected a little and is more or less. So be aware of that these are still nascent markets, that the value proposition is yet to be defined. It is not as clear as that of Bitcoin, and that this is important when managing risks and your capital that you work so hard to earn.
And I didn't dare anymore, Giovanni. I think it has been good data, really super interesting as always. On this occasion, I have a greeting for Marcelo Cabero, who says he lives in Chile and is showing it to his friends and is preaching in the desert. So greetings. So you are supporting him a lot precisely in preaching, in evangelizing a bit about all this Bitcoin topic, which we have been doing for a long time, even door to door. He even remembers it?
Well, yes, I remember the beginnings. I encourage you all. In the end, this is something very beautiful because you carry it within you. You know that this technology is a technology that changes a bit the way we are governed, the way you are free, the way you can accumulate wealth. And I think that sharing it with others when you understand it is not easy, because there are many people who create a wall now that Christmas is coming and Bitcoin is near 100,000. I think it will be a topic you will bring up at dinner, for sure. And write down, let's say, I was going to say the sisters-in-law, but they are not nonsense, damn it. They are the arguments that make them not understand all this. Yesterday, for example, I had lunch with two people and they said to me, Javier, I don't know who is behind Bitcoin, or is it quantum computing, or do you work at an exchange and what you want is to sell us Bitcoin and all this kind of stuff. So in the end, everyone has a series of arguments that they use to not see it, and it is a natural process. But I encourage you to take on that role, just like Giovanni and I did back in the day, and we continue to do as much as possible to contribute our grain of sand.
Totally agree. In fact, many times I tell them the reality. They try to know everything that is behind it, and that's fine. But the best way, many times, to understand it is to start using it. Sometimes I send them, I don't know, a Bitcoin hero for them to check out. Well, I admit I don't usually send Bitcoin something about cryptocurrencies so they can start understanding it. And then I give them the opportunity that through Academy, we have totally free courses, certified. And even the truth is, because they don't even realize that many of the services we have exist. Like a colleague, I won't say it was Javier, who recently talked about the topic of B2Me card.
Totally. So what do you think, Giovanny? Also, well, we thank Neil and Leif who came by the other day. They were discussing a lot of interesting things about BM that you are asking about. Let's see, price projections are the same, just like we made a projection with that graph that says it will reach between $250,000 and $300,000 Bitcoin if everything goes normally next year. Making projections for BM or any other cryptocurrency is incredibly complex because it depends on many variables. It depends on the demand at a given moment. It depends on market euphoria. It depends on the people willing to sell, etc. I mean, we can't give you predictions because we really don't know. I don't know if you dare, but I don't know. The truth is I don't.
But I do want to answer a rather curious question. Murillo asks, according to your talk, do you recommend that I take my millions of BM and put them in BTC? And he laughs. And the truth is that they are totally different things. What am I getting at? That is to say, if you use the BM suite, precisely having those BMs locked up helps you level up very quickly and make the most of everything related to purchases, sales, exchanges, even with Bit2Me, because we explained it precisely at the anniversary. BM. It's a super useful way to give, no pun intended, utility to our BM token. So you will see.
Well, of course, I think what Giovanny says is that in the end, the BM token is a utility token that helps you improve your position in Space Center within the 7 levels you can have. If you use the platform a lot and are interested in having BM because it pays off. Now, what I've said is not so much whether you don't have BM or whether you do. What I'm saying is that the formation of the portfolio, if you have invested, for example, $1,000 in the market, what I would have is 700 in Bitcoin and the rest in BM or whatever I want in the asset, the cryptocurrency that interests me. But I would have it like that. That's my opinion. I may not be correct, or I may be, I don't know, but well, these are many of the strategies of our users.
It is that because among the benefits, that is the discounts you have for being a BM holder, there is a 100% discount on commissions, wallet, and up to 50% in BB Pro.
So, and that, a ton of benefits that we will be commenting on as we go along today. I think the other day, well, a bit of what was mentioned to us, I believe that they are working very well, that new missions are being set up, that a system is being developed so that the BM tokens, in addition to giving you points directly just for holding them, you can literally use them to earn permanent points. I believe that this is a before and after in the mechanics of how the token will function and the impact it will have on the BM market. Well, regarding how it will function, it will be developed, and that should also be valued. I believe that all these issues are worth considering, right?
So, well, let's see what we have here.
Well, nothing from BM. If you haven't seen the show, we definitely recommend it. I simply think that was the star announcement. Also something you will comment on later, Yova. Not even that, the missions and accumulated benefits of Space Center, how it would work to remind people who haven't used it, and what things we need to know or highlight right now. Well, in Bit2Me, in addition to having the platform with all the products and services you already know for buying, selling, exchanging, and paying with a card, the high-frequency trading platform, the staking, Launchpad, today we are going to announce something interesting in that regard. Well, we are developing a line of business that is already coming to light. In fact, there has been an important news from the CNMV authorizing some players in the market to develop asset tokenization services and market them. And we are located there with STX, which would be the product, the service that will allow us to work or take everything related to the world of cryptocurrencies to another level. With other types of assets, by assets I mean stocks or debt, other types of products that within Bit2Me you will be able to trade you will be able to exchange, for example, for cryptocurrencies. That is the idea. The idea is that STX first merges. It can be used with the infrastructure, the tools we have in Bit2Me, and later you can exchange it, you can trade it, the other tokens of other cryptocurrencies, whether they are stable coins, whether it's Bitcoin, other matters, and their PM would also obviously have its utilities. When will this come to light? Well, 2025, I think we will see many advances. I can't give you dates because it also depends on the regulator, but it is something we have been working on for a while, which Javier Tordabel is leading. And right now, well, we have done a racing fan. We have done a pilot test with a series of investors under conditions who wanted to participate. They have been able to do so in a safe environment to see how everything goes. And we are also at that point.
Totally. And the truth is that totally people have liked it a lot. If they have any questions, they already know. They can ask us. We have the BMS website, even through their Telegram channel. So anything, let us know, and we are attentive to provide you with more information.
Basically, this is a public limited company of digital assets and securities called Valorix for an amount of $145,000 on maturing in 3 months with a coupon of 3.25. So there are many people who have wanted to participate and are using it with the Bit2Me team. We also have a link in the blog in case you want to read more information.
And this is a milestone in Spain. This had not been done until now within the financial industry. And well, it has been very well received. The truth is yes. And in fact, it is a way for many people who are more traditional to gradually enter the world of the crypto ecosystem, Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. So the truth is that it has been very, very interesting. And thanks to the people for trusting us and participating precisely in this type of services that we are bringing forward regarding what we were discussing. Now we have new missions, Javi, precisely what you want to explain. Yes, precisely among what we have now is that you will now be able to see the benefits you have accumulated in Space Center, broken down with all the advantages by products. For example, with car, with air, you can see all the discounts you have obtained for being at that level. That said, soon it will also show, for example, prop and others. And also, if you go to the next level, how much you could have obtained in discounts and benefits. We also have a new mission, which is the referrals. For all our referrals, that mission has been retroactive for the last 12 months. Important if for some reason the referrals you have do not appear and they meet the criteria of being in the last 12 months, you also need to be clear that they sometimes have to be registered with your referral link, have a verified account, and have made a first purchase of $100 or more, okay? It is not valid if you buy, for example, $20 and then $80 or $50 and $50. It must be a single first purchase, okay? Because some users are asking us why it is not reflected for them. And it is probably due to one of those reasons.
Correct. Look, I was just looking now, Giovanni, with all the movement that is happening in the market within the Bit2Me application, which will be the coins that are trending the most, that are being traded the most on the platform, which is a new tab that we have also added. If you go here to the bottom, to the prices section, you will see that you have a series of tabs that you can move. So you have all 300,315 cryptocurrencies that are listed on Bit2Me. You can have favorites. And at the top right, if you choose a specific coin, you have a star. Or if you have it highlighted, you will be able to filter and select it by group. Then you have it in the portfolio. In the portfolio are all the cryptocurrencies you have on Bit2Me. Only the quotes of those will appear. And then trending means that the cryptocurrencies that have had the most trading volume or that people are checking or reviewing the most will appear in a list of 10 coins. And of course, Giovanni, the last tab is new, where we add all the new tokens, all the new cryptocurrencies that are added to the platform. And in this case, we currently have 16. So, well, within prices, it is a way to visualize it and find everything you need, or the cryptocurrency you are interested in more directly in a simpler way.
Correct. The truth is that it has also been quite interesting. Take the opportunity precisely for what, because some users there also had the Bit2Me collections. What happens? Collections that included stable coins, those of artificial intelligence, those of DeFi. What happens? Some have asked us about some of our communication channels, where they are now. One option is in the operations button down in the center. There you can open it and you will find all our operations. Among them is buying collections. If you press the buy button, it gives you several options, among them the options for instant purchase, purchase order, buying collections, or even using the Bit2Me Pro service, because some have asked me precisely that they missed it. And then Eusebi Evidel says, I already have 9 to 10 referrals from the Space Center mission. So super good. Congratulations.
In fact, well, we mentioned it before, Giovanni, the issue of accumulated benefits that you will be able to see in Space Center, which Neil also mentioned the other day, and that will allow you to see in card, in earn, in the different Bit2Me services according to your level in Space Center, how much it has given you, how much you have earned from each of those products. So well, that will also be available for the rest. It will be activated for both Pro and Wallet, and I think it's very good. On the other hand, if you have stablecoin, now that the famous Black Friday is coming, you also know that we have a list of stores with which you have additional cashback, depending on the level of Space Center you have, to that API. And if you use stablecoins, for example, what I do is that my salary arrives at the bank, and instead of keeping it in the bank, which gives me nothing, if I also don't want to risk part of that money with a cryptocurrency, even if it's Bitcoin, why? Because it has volatility and I need stability. What I do is convert it to a stablecoin. Notice now what is happening with the euro and the dollar, that the dollar is gaining ground over the euro. Little by little, the euro is losing value against the dollar because of everything that is happening in Europe due to the data coming out in Germany and France. So what happens? The euro goes down. If you have a stable coin in dollars and you also have it staked within Bit2Me, you can take advantage of that yield. You can benefit from that bonus that is given to you daily. If you want to receive it in BM, you already know that it's an additional 2% up to 7%. But also, if you go to the filters of the stores we have for restaurants, electronic stores, mobility, etc., you will add the cash back to that percentage you are generating. Therefore, and I mentioned this the other day, Giovanni, but I think it's important to say it again. If for a year you use this mechanism and you have a high level in Space Center, obviously if you have a low level, you won't see as much percentage, but it could represent maybe 50% of your salary if you have a level 3 or 4, more or less. If you have a level 6 or 7, almost an entire salary per year, which is a lot of money you will save by making the payments you normally make. If you haven't used it, the other day we conducted a survey during the live program, and half of the people still hadn't used the stable coins connected to the card. And the card really, if you are watching the program literally right now, in 5 minutes, if anyone goes into the app, goes to card and activates it virtually, downloads the wallet from Google Play or Apple Store, you will be able to use it starting tomorrow or even this afternoon. So it's something that is immediate, and I think it's worth it, Giovanni.
Correct. And as I referred to the offers from BME Live, among some of them, for example, Vigo is more than 30% on a first purchase, more than 24% from Viva Gym on the first purchase. As you mentioned, it's quite important. It is additional to the cashback you receive directly according to your level in Space Center. Additional, it is additional. That said, we have also made it much easier to level up. For example, there are people who say, well, for me, the ideal level is 5. Well, now simply by buying BM, blocking them, we give more points with the same amount of BM purchased, making it easier for you to reach the level you want to be at. And everything we do through the loyalty program is super important because it generates cashback in BM, and that BM will help us gradually increase points and level up. So, and also a super important detail, we were discussing the other day that all the cashback received both from the card and from Air, and the referrals in the BM we receive is from market purchases. What does that mean? It facilitates and supports the entire 3009 ecosystem. So honestly, on this part, the places we have visited are super interesting. Last Thursday, we were at a community point, meeting with people, and precisely some were unaware that we had the card and strategies to use it, like the one you mentioned today, which is super interesting.
Of course, that's why we have to remember it, Giovanni, because I think it's one of the, for me, it's like the combo, right? It's like within BME, how do you pass the game? Well, you pass the game by staking the coins while using them with the Bit2Me card. So you connect the two services and it significantly increases that percentage. I learned this from the whole community. Elvi was around. Well, he mentioned it to me at several events we attended. Gunther told me, hey, Javi, this is awesome, and so on. And I really didn't believe it until I started using it. I didn't understand how powerful it is. I mean, I'm really glad you insisted and mentioned it to me.
Now, no less important, Javi, we were precisely talking about that. He says now having stable coins gives you even more, because we've increased the APIs to 7% for USDT and USDC, 18% for Euro Tether. And if we collect our rewards with BM, I mean, that's important. You were precisely talking about stable coins. Well, we've raised the APIs.
Exactly. I mean, it's a try it out. And hey, if you have more questions, you have the team to resolve it. Well, more pairs, more things we've added. Well, there's a currency that's very trendy, which is HBAR. Well, we have included the pair for those of you trading on Bit2Me Pro in USDC. If anyone has HBAR or is seeing that it's rising these days and is interested, well, we have it listed there. Also Humster. We have it IMX, IOTA, and LDO. Those are the coins. And another thing we've added within Bit2Me card, we've been talking obviously about stable coins, but maybe someone says, well, I also want to have other cryptocurrencies. I want to have Ethereum. I want to have Bitcoin, USENT. Well, we have added an additional one called Degen. So you can also add it to card payments. Why is this interesting? Well, because there are coins that maybe you have a smaller amount of because you think they will have more volatility. But imagine you have a little bit and it rises a lot in price. I would like to take advantage of it at a certain moment to make a payment, the card, connecting it directly in a very simple way, having the coins already within the platform in staking. And if it's not listed within Bit2Me card, then maybe I can't benefit from that rise while I'm making a payment. And that is the reason why we have added it. So we will gradually be adding more coins. If you don't know it, take a look. You know that in any coin or cryptocurrency you enter within Bit2Me, if you scroll down in the balance, you will see all the data, everything you need to know about that project. All the research, all the searching, the tokenomics, what the project is, so that you have more information. It is always important to read a little bit of the document that we add for each of the coins.
Correct. And if any cryptocurrency is not in the suite, you always have the option to use B2ME feedback tool to request it. That said, we also have a question aligned with the topic of the card. It says, when will Bit2Me card be available for Latin America? Peru already wants to use it. Excellent, Bit2Me. And then Murillo also tells us, how is the adoption of the platform in South America? Well, we have recently landed by opening operations in Argentina since November 1st, allowing them to deposit with Argentine pesos. And soon, they will also have the option to use the virtual Bit2Me card. That said, it is the beginning of our progress in Latin America. We are going little by little. Each country has its regulatory laws. We are adapting our platform for each region, for each country, as I was mentioning, even the example of Argentina, where they will even be able to see the DBME platform in the Argentine language. That is to say, if for some reason we are used to certain words here, they will have it in a very, very comfortable way there. So I encourage all those from Argentina to reach out to our communication channels and start trying.
Of course, that is the idea, to be able to expand. We have just, let's say, landed in Argentina. There are already users using the platform, so it is true that the card is not yet available, but we will launch it soon. We are already making announcements and will communicate it on the ground. And in Peru and the rest of the countries, we are eager to find a way, a partner, to have the platform ready for the local currency. In sols, in Chilean pesos, in Bolivianos. Well, Bolivia too, right now there is a complicated situation, but we will try to reach all countries. Well, let's move on, if you want, to the segment, Giovanny, about the events and collaborations we have done during this month of November, which have not been few. Well, first of all, I want to highlight, as we mentioned in previous programs, all our solidarity with what is happening in Valencia, with what has happened. We do not want to forget because even though time passes, I believe this is something historical, that such a great catastrophe, well, should always keep us aware. And from BB, as you know, we made an agreement with a football club from the Valencian community, the Club Deportivo Castellón. We managed to raise nearly $10,000, which is delivered directly to the affected families on the ground. And well, we also want to publicly thank, of course, the Club Deportivo Castellón for getting involved and mobilizing all possible resources to help. As you know, Bit2Me is a company from the Valencian community. We have a large part of the team in Valencia, in Castellón, and in Alicante. And well, I want to send a big hug to all the people who are still there, trying to recover and move forward. That said, Giovanny, more events we have participated in include the one from Ranquilla, where we were awarded the best exchange here in Spain. David Dahan was there to collect the award. And well, it was a pleasure for us. We have a very good relationship with Ranquilla. Ranquilla is an investor community that has opened its doors wide to B2Me to conduct webinars. In fact, tomorrow we have a webinar in the afternoon, mainly about everything that is happening, developing the intro we did today in this webinar on their YouTube channel. If you feel like joining, we would be delighted to collaborate. As you know, we were also in Argentina, where Giovanny, Jose Luis, Pablo Casadillo, and the entire team from Argentina joined us on the ground. And they are part of the Bit2Me team. They are wonderful, fantastic people in Argentina, and the understanding of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies there is spectacular. The truth is that we are very happy and eager to return. I already told Giovanny when we were there that I am considering going back to Argentina and spending some time traveling or living there, trying to promote Bit2Me for a few months, because I think it is a very nice project. We had the DeLorean on the ground, and the truth is that it was phenomenal. Pablo Casadillo was also at the International Adoption and Regulation event in Argentina, another very important event that MasterCard invited us to, specifically for FinTech. Our colleague Abel Peña was also at another event exploring the frontiers of cryptocurrencies and the web. And well, the truth is that we don't stop. We are everywhere. On the other hand, our compliance team, which is a fundamental part of Bit2Me that handles all management related to anti-money laundering and counter-terrorism, was at the Compliance Officer 2024, where we also received an award and won the competition. We were also at the International Congress on Digital Assets and the Financial Sector, where Javier Tordabel was present. We talked a little earlier about STX, which is that part of Bit2Me related to the tokenization of instruments and financial assets. Also, the award, as I mentioned earlier, that was given to Joao, which is the Iberian Lawyer Gold Awards 2024. Well, very happy. I don't know if we have him in the photo, but the truth is they are doing an outstanding job. Think that in 2021, $2.1 billion in transaction volume went through Bit2Me, and the company has a responsibility to the regulators for all those transactions. What responsibility does it have to ensure that B2Me is not used for money laundering or financing terrorism or illegal activities? Well, Joao leads his department, and we must thank him for all the work he and his team do as they support us daily. Why? So that Bit2Me can move forward and not have problems like other companies have had. And nothing, Giovanny, I would tell you that these are the most important events we have attended, which are not few. This month, we are also working, moving in different places. I spoke with Co. Now, Abel is in Paris, France, and we don't stop. We keep moving, and this is just the beginning.
Absolutely, Javi. In fact, you were talking about the work our compliance department is doing, and I was precisely looking for a news article we had on June 12, 2024, which is B2Me prevents $3.1 million in fraud to its clients in 2023 and in 2020, and what has gone on in 2024. Precisely about the importance of what we were discussing, compliance and fraud prevention. We can talk about that if you want as well.
Of course. All this deployment, which for B2Me is evidently a significant effort to put all these resources and search for qualified personnel to perform this function, in the end, what do they achieve? Well, they ensure that there are people using the platform and that Bit2Me detects that these people may be getting scammed, who are new to this ecosystem, who do not know the technology well, who do not know whom to trust and whom not to. And maybe they send cryptocurrencies to wallets that are scams, literally, that offer you very high returns and such. I was telling Giovanni and Jose earlier that the video control is already in place, that there is a scam you need to be careful about. What they are doing now is sending very small amounts of Tron or USDT on the Tron network so that that address gets registered in your contacts. And without you realizing it, when you send to one of your addresses, like in the history, those addresses will appear. You might think they are yours, the ones you used last time. Copy them, paste them, and end up sending your funds to a criminal. So, what do we recommend? We recommend that whenever you copy an address, you verify the last 10 letters and numbers of that address with the one you have in your wallet, the one you copied and to which you are going to send, because they are always looking for techniques to try to take people's funds. And even though we at Bit2Me, as Giovanni said, provide all the tools to prevent and stop that from happening, even so, at times they are super creative, innovative, and try to deceive you, trick you, etc. So if you have any doubts, please don't hesitate to write to us, to ask us, hey, this happened to us. Is this normal? You can reach Giovanni through the Telegram group we have for the Bit2Me community, where the Bit2Mers are also helping. You can also find me on Instagram, on X, and the entire Bit2Me support team. Of course, 2009. But know that I really value the role of exchanges that do things right. Not all of them, because not all do it well. In that we serve as a secure mechanism as well, because sometimes we are criticized, hey, privacy and such, you are asking for papers, you are asking for this. Yes, but we also perform a security function. We also comply with the regulations required by the supervisors to provide a service with guarantees, which is something that many people do not do, but criticize about exchanges. So I believe that we also need to value all the work we have been doing as platforms, as bridges, connecting the world of traditional money with Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. Why? Because we have managed to prevent what Giovanni said, that $100,000 have ended up in the hands of scammers or much more, but well, that was directly detected. So I think this needs to be valued. Ivan.
Absolutely. Regarding what was said about having a support team, that is always attentive. One of the things we often do with our Telegram channel is reduce some of the tickets of doubts and concerns they have, such as the one posted by Andres Vinilo, who says, you can't see the expiration date of the Bit2Me virtual card on mobile if the date doesn't show up on the phone.
You see, yesterday, I also had to update the application from time to time. If the security code or the date doesn't show up on mobile, go to the website, access the card, and there it will appear. Try doing that and also update the application. Those are the two solutions we can offer you.
Exactly what I was going to comment on, and I'm aligning with that. I said that in the end we were going to have something that I was going to mention that we were going to visit. Let's revisit the introductory talks. With B2Me exclusively, how do those talks work? It's quite simple. Even though it says introductory, it's for both beginners and veterans. Those who are veterans will be able to provide insights based on their user experience, like the one I was mentioning. If you can't see the card from your mobile, you can do it from the web, no? For example, people who are unaware that the card for virtual purchases has a secret code, which is different from the PIN code. All those little things will be addressed there. So the same users, both passengers and moderators, and even some users who are always collaborating with the community, will be resolving those doubts. How is it going to work? Will there be a limit of 50 people? Will it be an online talk? Okay, we will send a form in which they will sign up for 2 dates, 1 main and 1 alternative. I repeat, they are exclusive and will be limited to 50 people. And this is not a B2Me talk. We are going to discuss the B2Me community, addressing questions and concerns about the use of our platform, and thus understand in some way how we once again place great value on what the voices of the users are. In fact, we have that concept deeply rooted in BB, the voices of the user. That's how the passengers were also born, who are the community ambassadors that are constantly supporting us So I hope that soon we will send you that form, which you will then be able to request both through support, and we will have it in the Telegram channel.
So from my side, honestly, initiative. I believe these talks are going to be great, Giovanni, because they help more people understand how this technology works, what the benefits are, what steps to take safely, how to use, tools, what each cryptocurrency contributes, etc.
So in fact, I will invite you to one of those talks, because we have literally said it many times. Our suite is a 360 service suite. There are many users who are unaware of many of the services we have that align with what they need or want to receive payments in cryptocurrencies at their establishment. To be able to use us as a liquidity provider, in short, that's what it's for. And I hope to see you at one of them. That's it. It will be a surprise.
Look, Gemax is commenting that we need these sessions, that we should notify, please. Very happy with the topic of the talks. I don't know if there are any questions. The topic, look, from the website, it will work well for you. All the webinars are on the YouTube channel. In what you were talking about, Rankia, yes, on the YouTube channel. Well, here at Bit2Me, you have a lot of talks. We have also done webinars for the use of Bitcoin cryptocurrencies in the business sector. If you have companies, tax advisors have come. We have interviews from years ago with expert sessions on different themes with different projects. And let's not forget, Giovanni, the topic of the Launchpad. We have talked about having a new token.
Announced it today.
Yes, we announced it today. You will have more information if you enter the app or on the website. You will be able to see more details about this token. We have arranged to meet with him, with one of the founders, soon to do the interview with him, and you will have it published in the coming days with the details of the project, what they want to do, where they want to take the token, and so on. So, well, this announcement will come out more specifically in the coming days, but you already have information available in the Launchpad section.
That's it. They already have that information available, both from the white paper and from their website, and everything that involves their project. That said, take advantage. We even have a very interesting article that has also been published just a few minutes ago. Why? So that you can take advantage and then ask those questions. In the interview we are going to do, which we will announce soon the date and time, but so that you come prepared with the lesson learned to ask those questions a little more specifically.
So from my side, not much more for the curious. For those who want to know what it's about, it's an artificial intelligence project called AI Nexus. And well, as I said, you can see more details about all of it in the Launchpad. They also have an account on X. If you want to follow them, it's X Launchpad app. And well, there you can also find the publications, interact with the community, and see more details. Although I insist, we will expand. Much more information.
Okay, well, there's another question here. They say, Perales says that for it to be complete 2001, what you are commenting on, only the pair of set. The Euro in Pro is missing. I take this opportunity, as I have said on other occasions, we precisely have the BB feedback tool there. If that proposal is already made, it's time to vote on it, to comment, and among the whole community, we can make a bit more of an effort so that the team can evaluate that type of interactions, proposals, because in fact, everyone is very attentive. Both the product managers respond to those. And we take everything into account to move forward and, in quotes, be a bit BME on demand.
Well, totally, Giovanni, that BB feedback, a tool that helps us improve based on what you consider to be most important at each moment. And I think it has been quite complete. We will see each other now in December. Before Christmas, we will surely do a program. And if we reach $100,000, we would do a special program with everything that is happening, with a bit of the coverage that is done in traditional media, which is also very interesting to see how they approach and comment on the arrival of Bitcoin at $100,000. And we will be here in the next Bit2Me Live giving you all the news, all the summary. Thank you for being there. If you like this type of content, as always, we ask you, Giovanni, me, and the whole Bit2Me team to give it a like. And if you want to share it, great. A pleasure. A pleasure to be here with you on this journey, which has already been a few years, but it looks like it will accelerate in the coming months. So congratulations to everyone. We hope you enjoy it. If you want to share your thoughts, I insist, follow us in the B2Me community Telegram group, also BM, and we will be with you very soon. I don't know if you want to add anything else, Giovanny.
For my part, not much more. We always note all the doubts and concerns that we resolve here to answer them either in the comments or in the Telegram group or in those exclusive initiation talks with B2Me that we are going to resume with the whole community. See you soon.
The topic of the exchange that Moy mentions, we said for the first quarter of 2025, but there is still no date. Okay, we still can't tell you much more, but we will give you updates as soon as we know something.
We will be attentive.
Also, thanks to Jose, who is at the controls, Jose Carrillo. Thank you very much to everyone. See you very soon. Goodbye, Bitumeros. Bye-bye.
See you soon.